This is your pool party captain, Randy Fitzsimmons, and you're listening to the Game Changer Podcast. Pew pew!
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nate the Great!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Game Changer Podcast. I am NateFNGreat, and I am here to change the game one day at a time, one moment at a time. And I am very pleased and privileged to have with me here a woman who is absolutely, honestly, there's so many adjectives I could describe her with. Amazing, spectacular, beautiful. She's got one of those voices that is just very, very good to listen to. And the reason why I say that is because she is an ASMR expert. I say that because she has more experience with it than I do. She is the one, the only, from ASMR Loves Sofia, Sofia herself.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice intro.
I have been known for doing amazing intros at the start, so I always make sure. Well, thank you. I always make sure that every single time I have a guest on, they feel special and they deserve to have that special treatment. So, like I said, we've been planning this for about roughly a week now, and it's finally time for us to get down to the nitty-gritty, because you've done a couple of these kind of, fan interactions. You've done them with your live streams, and I said this before the broadcast, but I'll say it again for anybody that would like to get the chance to. Congratulations on achieving 1 year on ASMR. That is an absolutely huge accomplishment.
Thank you so much. It's been a crazy year.
You know what? It's fair. It's fair. It's still 2021, so we're still in that phase of quarantine at this point. But let me start off with this question here, and that is, what got you so interested in ASMR to begin with?
I'm not one of those people who have been listening to ASMR since the beginning. I honestly didn't know about it until I think Cardi B mentioned it on Carpool Karaoke. And I was like, what is this ASMR you speak of? But what got me into actually making it was the pandemic. I was living alone, and I found myself just really missing just human interaction. And I ended up actually really strongly wanting someone to read me to sleep, but not in an audiobook way, just a normal human, just kind of with you while you fall asleep, and so that's kind of how I started making videos, just wanting to, thinking that there were probably people like me out there who would like some human interaction and some care and comfort on the way to sleep. So I originally planned my channel to be a storytelling channel. My first video is an original story, just bedtime story that I wrote. And it evolved from there. But that was the original impetus.
It definitely does seem like it evolved quite a bit, because I think I stumbled upon you a little bit earlier on this year, because I've been so fascinated with ASMR. And for those of you that don't kind of know what ASMR is, basically what it is, it kind of started off as people playing with a couple of props and items that kind of would either help people just relax and go to sleep and stuff like that. But it has evolved so much since then, to the point where, like you were saying before, now it's telling these stories, and it's telling all these kind of, there's been people have done riddles for ASMR, because some people like that kind of deal, or some of them like the short stories kind of deals, but they are normally audio. What makes Sofia so different is that she decided to go with video. What made you go in that direction?
Well, I was always going to do video. I'm an actor, and so and honestly, it's funny because some of my acting coaches have really had a major problem with my voice. I'm quiet, and also I have this vocal fry that makes them crazy. So I didn't think my voice was going to be my strong suit. I felt like being able to like be a calming presence on camera and hand movements and kind of, simulating things like hugs or petting your hair or whatever, that kind of nice, like, comforting thing. So I was always going to do video. And then I noticed that the audio channels had more storytelling than a lot of the video channels. And that made me think that maybe there was an audience for that kind of content. And so I started kind of trying to do an audio style role play with video included.
And it's definitely one that has caught a lot of people's eyes. I mean, for those of you that are curious, as it stands right now, she is at 41.1K subscribers and 125 videos since last year. So she's definitely been a busy bee when it comes to the pandemic. She just kept on trucking. And for those acting coaches that say that her voice is not exactly the best, there are people that will disagree with you, and about 41,000 people at least. And those numbers are just going to keep going up. So you also mentioned that you're an actor. What are some of the projects that you have done outside of ASMR?
So what I say is I've had big roles in things you've never seen and very small roles in things you have seen. So you can catch me very briefly on Better Call Saul. I was in the recent Angelina Jolie film, Those Who Wish Me Dead. I have a part in Land of Dreams, which just premiered at the Venice Film Festival. And then there's some exciting stuff coming up, I believe, this winter that I'm not yet allowed to talk about. And then I've done a lot of independent and short films that you can catch on the festival circuit, but less so in major box offices.
Well, hey, you got to start off somewhere small, and then it just kind of evolves from there. So you're getting your name out there, at least.
It's fun. I like it.
What have been some of your favorite roles that you've done in the past?
I honestly love anything with depth, anything that lets me, I love doing the ASMR channel because I get to play all of these different characters. I really like to bring different characters to the channel instead of kind of doing the same person. And so anything that lets me kind of live in someone else's shoes, because there's a lot of roles that are very surface, which is cool. I mean, hey, today's work, happy with that. But, any of the roles I've been able to do that had real emotional depth, that's what I live for.
It is kind of amazing going into a different character's shoes, as you mentioned before, because it does take you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but it might also bring you something where it's like, I kind of want to do something like this again. Like, I'll use this example that this past weekend we had YouTube Mania up in Rockford, which I got the chance to perform in front of a live audience, and it was awesome. And one of the things that I had to do was I had to portray a villain, and it's kind of one of those things where I know that I was good at being the villain, but I was like, I also kind of want to be the conquering hero and stuff like that. But my friends are just kind of like, you're kind of more of that evil, cocky, arrogant guy that really just wants to take down the good guys. So it's like, all right, I'll play the role that I'm good at. And yeah, everybody reacted very well to it. I didn't have, any kind of buddy try to jump me or anything like that. So thankfully that was the thing.
That's good.
But yeah, just getting the reaction of being like, oh, you're a villain, we hate you, and blah, blah, blah. It's one of those things that you get a little bit used to. I actually had something like that when I did a lot of stage performances. Like one role, I played Long John Silver, and one of the things that they had as a rule is that anytime he comes on, you gotta boo him, you gotta, jeer for him, he's the bad guy. It's like, okay, so this is kind of like wrestling. Okay, this is kind of nice. So it's like, now I'm used to that. So hearing those kind of extreme reactions is something that comes with the territory, but it's also kind of fun because it's like, hey, I get to be a different person for one day.
Yeah, it is fun. And, it's nice with the channel because, like you're saying, you've kind of been typecast as the villain. In the acting world, I'm always going to be kind of called in for similar roles, but on the channel, since I'm doing it myself, I can kind of do whatever I want, which is really fun.
Have you ever been typecasted in any of your roles? Are you kind of more like the quiet girl? Or are you kind of like the nice girl next door? Or what are some of the typecasting you've had to deal with?
A lot of, I don't know how to say this, abused person, basically. Like a lot of, I don't know if maybe I have like a face, maybe I have a face that people want to hurt, but I kind of think
wow.
it might be, because I have a kind of like the innocent face, so I wonder if, to make their bad guys seem bad, they like to cast me as the
victim, basically.
But I do actually, it's not that fun to watch, but violence is a lot of fun to play. So I enjoy dying on screen.
So we'll probably see you in the next remakes that they make for horror movies, probably.
Yeah, that would be great. I've never done a horror film. I would love to. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, hey, man, I might know somebody in Rockford that might want to use your talents then.
Nice. Oh, give me a call.
Why, you hear that? You got another person here. So, obviously, you had, I said before, 125 videos that are up in your channel right now. We'll start with this question here. What has been probably your favorite video to record, and which character has been one that you've really enjoyed playing or portraying, I should say?
That's funny. Well, it's funny because I think it's a little bit like what you were saying. I think I have the most fun with my crazy kind of villainous characters. So my channel is romance themed. I would say the characters are pretty much always going to be obsessed with you or in love with you or falling for you or whatever. But I have some characters who are more of that obsessive, maybe Kathy Bates type, misery character. I think my kidnapping, it's called You're Mine Forever. I think that might have been my favorite video to do.
See, I would have figured something like the classic Catwoman would have probably been one that I really...
I did love doing the Catwoman. It's funny, both of those videos ended up getting marked 18 plus by YouTube. I do not do not safe for work content, but I think YouTube is maybe cracking down on the kidnapping videos. But I did have a lot of fun with Catwoman, but I gotta say, I have to turn the AC off for when I'm shooting because it makes a lot of noise. And shooting in the middle of the summer in the desert in a full latex bodysuit was pretty gross. But other than that, I did have a lot of fun.
As soon as you said turn off the AC, I'm just like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
It's just another layer of in the desert and it's hot. It's like, oh no. Just as long as you're able to get out of it, then that's what matters.
I think I had a couple of people request a part 2 to that one, and I'm like, yeah, sure, in the winter. It'll be a good wintertime roleplay.
So let me play the other end of the spectrum. What's probably been the hardest one that you've done, as well as your least favorite that you've done?
It's funny, some of my least favorite ones that I watch back, I'm just like, ugh. I did not do a good job on that, or like some of the more popular ones. Which is funny. I'm trying to think. I mean, I went through a period where I didn't really know what my niche was going to be, and I was just kind of like trying to find myself. And so a lot of that content, like, I would never go back and watch it. It's not, it was very much kind of me learning. I'm still learning. I'm learning all the time, but I think a lot of those earlier videos are a little bit cringe for me to look at.
Well, I mean, earlier on, I think you had, like, different camera, different effects and such like that.
Different mic, different everything different.
But, as time goes on, you definitely had a lot of, support from your fan nation to really help you make better videos.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. My supporters helped me buy new microphones, which was amazing. I think that made a big difference, getting a new camera and a good green screen and stuff like that, and new software. I had to buy a new computer. There's been a lot. But I think it was kind of, when you're starting these things, you don't want to put $5,000 into it if you don't know if anyone's ever going to watch a video,
right.
So I kind of started, I borrowed a camera from somebody, I got free software, I kind of did everything very, very low cost at the beginning. And then once I started to get a little bit of traction, I was like, okay, maybe I can spring for some fancier stuff.
And it definitely, like I said, it shows, because every single video seems to be getting better as far as, video-wise, content-wise. It just definitely shows your evolution in that. I will also say that we were talking before the show about some of your fans, about how there are, really supportive fans, and then there's those fans who are just like, oh, you're one of these people. Joy. I will say this, that whenever I get the chance to interact with you, it's always something that just, puts a smile on my face, because I see usually a notification on there that says, you got a heart from Sophia. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then it's like, you even got a reply. First time you did that, I'm like, oh, well, let's see how she replied to that. And it's just like, oh man, she really is sweet. And I think it was the, which one was it? It was the alleyway one that really showed me, the kind of person that you were, because I remember making a little like role play in that, where basically it's just like, and it was actually sadly like halfway through the video, so I haven't seen the full video yet, and then I realized, oh, well, she's already said this stuff, so she's probably gonna think like, wow, did you not watch the entirety of the video or something like that? But
I don't expect people to watch ASMR. If you don't watch ASMR, the videos are pretty long. They're 20 plus minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, I just remember at the end of it, I just said, you don't have to worry, I'll take care of you. You know why? Because I'm Batman. Yeah. And the first thing you said was like, well, thank you very much, Batman. I'm like, oh my God, she's one of these people. She's really cool. I'm okay with this. I am going to support her for quite a while now.
I have to say, when people role play with me back, that's one of my favorite things, because it's like so gratifying as the creator, because it's like I made a little world that both of us can play in. Like, that's so amazing. Like, the fact that there was something there that made you want to collaborate with me. Like, I just love it. I think it's so fun. And it's also so interesting to see how people interpret things, and where they kind of take the story and stuff. I love that.
I also did love that there was another comment where I made where I said, like, do you take submissions? Do you take requests? And I'm like, this is a long shot, because she's probably busy. She's probably got so many submissions going on. And she's like, well, I do, but don't expect them all to be done. I just gave you like a little bit of a list for that. And what's funny was that I think one of them actually did come out maybe a week or two after I mentioned it. It was the hospital care one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, she not only did it, and then I watched the entirety of it. I'm like, this went so much better than I had anticipated. Like, this.
Oh, good. I thought you were gonna be like, this was way worse.
No, and see, here's the thing: is that you mentioned that you definitely play more of like the innocent typecasting for it, and two of those ASMRs that really stand out are the ones when you definitely do give emotion to it. So There's that one, and I think the proposal to the best friend video that you did, where it's a little scavenger hunt that it ends with the whole proposal deal, and you're basically just getting all wound up like, okay, oh wow, she's really putting her heart into this. This is serious commitment. She really has that kind of commitment. So it definitely does show that you have the acting chops and that you should be in more roles. I think, in all honesty, they need to put you in a Hallmark movie, to be honest, at this point.
Thank you. Well, tell my agent. See if they can get me on this. But yeah, I love being able to put that emotion in there. I hope people enjoy it. I sometimes worry that my content is like too distracting to get people to sleep, but I really what I love about, there's a lot of things I love about ASMR, but the convention being for role plays that you're interacting directly with your viewer. And that's what I've found so interesting as a creator. I want to bring people into my world, and so if I can use emotion to try to make people feel like they're really there in that moment experiencing this, thing that might be outside of their normal experience. And that's what is exciting to me. It's
kind of like a Sofia multiverse, if you will.
Yes.
And you have all these variants that are coming by. We have the best friend, we have the crazy chick, we have the farm girl, we have the cat woman, we have all these different variants that are just here. And in honesty, it's really cool to see how much more, content that you make. And I will say that one that I was very interested in was the ASMR video where you were basically, I think you were sleeping for like 7 hours recording that. That had to have been just really tough to record because you're trying to,
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
It's looped.
Oh.
Some people don't realize that, and then I feel bad. I say it like I tried to put it like up in the description and in the comments so that people wouldn't like get disappointed. But DSLRs only shoot 30 minutes, so there's no real way. With the camera that I have, I can't shoot 7 straight hours. So to shoot, I don't fall asleep that fast, honestly, because I have insomnia. That's one of the many reasons I wanted to do ASMR. So I did kind of start drifting off, but then the DSLR just turned off. So I think I filmed like half an hour of doing actual helping you get to sleep, and then half an hour of me kind of falling asleep / pretending to be asleep, and then I looped it. So yeah, I feel bad about that, because I think a lot of people think I actually filmed 7 hours. I think that would be fun though, sometime. ASMR, have you ever watched ASMR, I don't know how to pronounce it, Popomo? It's P-P-O-M-O.
I've never even heard of it.
I think she might be a Korean creator. She has this video that's 8 hours, and it's like staying up at night with your depressed friend, like who can't sleep. And it's actually her like doing things for 8 hours, like to take care of you. And I think that's like such a brilliant video. Like that's so cool. I would love to do something like that. But there's so many logistical things. Like I think about like the changing light and, because it would probably take a lot longer than the actual 8 hours to film, and so it's a tricky one. I'd have to think about how to actually do that, but yeah, it's a really cool one. If you haven't seen it, I wish I knew the title of it, but I highly recommend that video.
Well, it's another thing that you have a goal and you definitely can, strive for it. And I think that, as time goes on, you're definitely going to be one of those ASMR, creators that are going to be standing out for quite a while. Because, like I said, you have a uniqueness to you when it comes to it. You definitely do know how to, portray the characters. It's not just, just vocally, but you're also showing, the body language of it too, which you could show the meek side of you. You could definitely show like the courageous side of you. It's definitely amazing seeing somebody go through a lot of these videos and have so many different, personalities in there just to help, people, fall asleep.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you.
I can be a nice guy sometimes.
I think you can. I'm shocked that your friends think you're the villain.
Well, you'll have to come to one of our shows and you'll definitely see why people see me as the villain. So, when it comes to, the acting side of things, are there any roles that you would really love to be a part of? Like, what I mean by that is that I know that there's so many, acting people that would really love to do, like, an action film, or they would like to do a comedy, or they would like to do maybe a serious romance. Maybe not too serious like a 50 Shades of Grey romance, but at least one that's going to be where it's like, yes, I can take my kids and my parents to see this movie, and I won't feel like, oh, this part's coming up.
I have worlds that I would die to play in. And that would be the Star Trek universe. I would happily be an extra getting phasered to death. And Lord of the Rings, since they're currently making both of those things, I would die to be involved in either of those. Honestly, one thing I've never gotten to do that I would love to do is like a supernatural or speculative show, because those things are like my favorite to watch. I mean, those are the kinds of books that I read. And the thing that I love about my favorite sci-fi and fantasy films and television is that there's a lot of emotional depth, but then you also get like cool, just like the fun action stuff. Maybe you get cool powers, you get to do fist fights, you get to have a cool weapon or something like that. To me, it's like the perfect mix of both. So yeah, I would love, like a Battlestar Galactica or something like that has that. It's like a smart show, but with speculative elements. That would be amazing.
Would you even do something like Doctor Who?
Oh yeah, totally. I would love that, but I haven't watched as much Doctor Who. I need to do that because I think I've gotten some requests for various companion role plays, and I need to get on that so that I know how to play them.
Well, I mean, there's certain deals that, people are going to request, and they're going to say, like, no, we want this now, we want this now. It's like, you got to be patient with these. She's not...
Gotta wait for me to watch the 700,000 episodes of Doctor Who. I'm sorry. It takes a while.
This is very true. This is very true. Oh, man, I cannot believe it's been on for that long. Jeez Louise.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, my gosh. And I also remember another one that got me hooked on you was the... I think it was the Evil Fairy ASMR that you did.
Oh, you like that one? Yay!
I think I made the comment where I said that it reminds me of the Evil Fairy from Once Upon a Time, because I think you definitely had the look of it. You definitely had like the kind of charisma that she had in it. And it's just like these two could almost match tit for tat. Although I could also see you being the Wicked Witch too, because I think I think facial structure you two could pull off as like twins, or maybe be her stunt double or something like that.
Well, I love doing role plays like that, and I think with October coming up in spooky season, I'm gonna have some more that are kind of like that dark fairy one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Keeping it on the hush hush, but exclusive here on the show.
Yeah.
So you also, with your role plays, definitely do have a wide assortment of wardrobe. Are there any wardrobe pieces that you would like to wear in the future?
You mean like again on the channel, or in the future, like out in public?
We'll start with the channel first, and then we'll do one for out in the public. Yeah.
It's really hard. I'm like a person who doesn't like wasting stuff. So the idea of only using something for one video is kind of hard. So I think that, yeah, I would like to. And sometimes people have noticed, they'll be like, oh, that's the same such and such from that other video. And I'll be like, shh, you didn't know that. But yeah, I definitely think I'll do another Catwoman. I'm going to try to do one that doesn't get made 18 plus by YouTube. So I definitely want to wear that costume again. The Dark Fairy costume, I've actually used bits of that for other videos too. I did like a witch and stuff. So sometimes I'll take pieces and mix them with other things to kind of try to make a new costume. But the thing is, I actually have quite a few pieces that I have not used yet that I'm very excited to use. So, I have like I have multiple bins of costume pieces that need to get used. So, but it's fun. I like dressing up and playing pretend.
I could tell by that.
Yeah.
So, what are some like cosplay pieces or things that you would love to wear outside of your ASMR career?
Well, I'm like, geez, because the channel, I have so many better like Halloween costumes than normal. I don't know if Halloween will happen this year, but I definitely am like, ooh, I have to wear this Catwoman thing. I mean, this is just awesome. What I'm like, I forget what I even have. Well, I have a crown that's so pretty that someone got me, a subscriber, and it's so sparkly, and it's got lots of different colored jewels in it, and I think I would like to just wear that out every day. Just be like, hi, I'm Queen Sofia. How are you? I'd like a latte, please.
I know this is only an audio show, but she's doing like all the hand gestures of being like I have graced you with my presence, therefore you must worship me and give me free Starbucks every day.
I need a cape. I have a Hogwarts robe that I haven't gotten to wear on the channel yet, but that's fun. I would wear a Hogwarts robe out just because it was cool.
Just because I can. It's my channel, damn it.
Just because I can.
So here's something that I've actually been kind of curious about. When it comes to the dialogue for your ASMRs, do you ever just go through like entire script where you have like just your response and then the person responding back, or how do you normally do your dialogue for your ASMRs?
It's improv.
Really?
It's all improv. Yeah.
She's one of my favorites now because of improv.
I love doing improv. I think it's fun, but I also have realized that I feel like more interesting things come out when I'm just riffing than would necessarily happen because the thing is, I'm the kind of person who would write a script and then be like, should I say that? Oh, is YouTube gonna make this 18 plus because of that? Oh, is this gonna blah, 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 blah. When I'm improvising, it's like, I don't even 100% know what came out until I'm editing the video, and I'm like, oh yeah, it actually kind of worked. I go in with a concept. I will, maybe have a couple triggers set up, props I know I'm going to use, and I can put them like in order of, okay, this plot beat corresponds to this prop. But otherwise it's just beats. Like I just have, maybe, depends on the video and depends on how much prep I've done. If I have a video that I have to have out tomorrow and I haven't shot it yet, it's like, well, let's see what happens. But I usually have some kind of like idea of what the story's going to be, and then I just improv. And most of the time I go with it. But like last night I shot a whole video and I didn't like it, so I had to shoot it again.
Was it like certain words that were just coming out that you didn't like, or was it just like how the feel of it was?
The feel, the character, I was like, this isn't exactly where I wanted her to be. So kind of had to ground myself in a different space and then go again.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So do you do all of your editing by yourself, or do you have like a team that helps you out with that?
Nope, I'm a one-man band. I do everything myself.
Wow. Beautiful, intelligent, and multi-talented. Jeez.
Oh, thank you. I actually really like editing. It's fun. I used to do it, but back in the day I worked as a story editor or story producer for reality television.
Oh, yeah. Any reality TV shows that I would know?
Probably not. I did like a lot of HGTV and I'm like, yeah, boring stuff. But that's an editing job, really. I mean, you're not editing for look, you're editing for story. But, so I had a lot of, I'm comfortable editing is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Before I started the channel I was. So I like it. I just kind of zen out and edit. I wish I was better at it, but I have time. I can learn.
You have all the time in the world. I mean, if this quarantine keeps going, then you're going to have more time than you need.
Seriously.
So when you're editing, this is just me being just kind of like that kid where it's like, I'm editing, I'm watching this. You ever just done like a random background in there, like I'll use like the Farm Girl one for instance. Like, you ever just do like a deal where it's just like it's the Farm Girl in space or something like that, just while you're doing your editing, just because it's like, I like this, but I'm just gonna do some messing around with editing, stuff like that.
That would be hilarious. I don't, and for a very boring reason. So I had to get a new computer to even deal with like the rendering of the graphics with doing green screen. It doesn't always play back at 100% speed once I've done all the compositing. So that's usually the very last thing I do. So I go through, I edit it for the sound and for, I cut out any weird bits. I do all of that first. It's great. And then I go back and do the compositing at the very end, just because of that rendering difficulty.
Okay. Well, it's not the boring part because of you. It's the boring part because the computer doesn't match your wits.
Yes.
You're too smart for a computer. You're becoming sentient.
Well, more of my computer's too slow.
Or the computer's too slow, so.
It's a lot faster than my old one, so that's good.
Do you have like a dial-up computer or something like that?
Yeah. No, just a regular. I had to get actually like a gaming laptop for to handle the graphic rendering.
You know, honestly, that does not shock me at all, because a lot of those gaming computers are just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, totally. They're way powerful. It's pretty nice.
But they're also not cheap. That is a problem.
No. Yeah. I got the lower end version. So that's why it doesn't, whatever. I just upgrade the graphics card, I guess, but
Oh my gosh, that was the classic. Like, one of my friends would say something like that. It's because, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
just trailing off.
Effort. So much trouble.
So let me also ask this. When it came to like editing and creating a video, what has been probably the longest that you've focused on a video?
It's never because of the complexity of the video. It's because it will be like some stupid screw up during filming that takes like some really annoying amount of work to try to fix.
Sounds like YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't even remember, but honestly, it's the early days stuff I think dealing with like green screen in the early days when I didn't have a computer that could handle it and I didn't understand it that well, it would take me a really, really, really long time to edit. But I've kind of streamlined it a bit at this point, which is good.
Okay. So you did mention earlier in the show that you were that you dealt with insomnia, which a lot of people know is definitely having a hard time sleeping. When did you realize that you had it? Was it at an early age? Was it like recently? When did you realize?
I was always a bad sleeper. I don't think I had so much trouble falling asleep as a kid, but like I would not stay. It was like very hard to stay asleep. When did I? Let's see. I'm trying to think because I also went through, like as a teenager, I talk about this on the channel. Basically, I've dealt with like major depression, and so that is sometimes, what do they call it? Like hypersomnia, or like you're just sleeping all the time.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
And so I think I was kind of like that in my teenage years, and then the anxiety started beating out the depression, I think, in terms of what was most upsetting me. And at that point, it became very, very, very hard to actually get to sleep at all. And it's been a while, yeah.
Okay. So now that brings the other point. You mentioned your battle with depression. I myself have had that kind of issue as well, and I'm very thankful that got the help as well as the support that I needed for that. How did you conquer your depression, or do you find yourself still battling depression right now?
I still battle it, but it's a lot better than it was. I didn't have... I'm not the kind of person who asks for help very often. And also, especially when depressed, tend to become very hermit-y. So I was, really kind of isolated, and because I had been dealing with major depression since I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. And at a certain point, if anyone has gone through this, you start to just think, especially because it started while I was growing into an adult, you think that's just the way you are, this is how it's going to be forever, and sorry, deal with it. And it wasn't until it got really bad, like really, really, really as bad as it could get, and I was like, you know what? There's still things I want to do. At the time I was writing novels, and I was like, I want to finish this damn book. And so I finally went to the doctor. It sounds a lot easier than it was, but I finally went to the doctor and got put on SSRI, and within a week or two, I was like, wait a second, is this what normal feels like? Like, I felt like Superman. I was like I had been carrying just heavy weights on my shoulders, and I had no idea until they were lifted. And it's like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? This is amazing. And I unfortunately have treatment-resistant depression, so I've had to go through a million medications. They last for like a year and then kind of just stop working. So that's why I still battle and stuff. But now I know, because before I had no idea that I could be okay. I didn't know that that was an option for me. And getting on medication showed me that it wasn't something that was inherently wrong with me. It was something that could be fixed. And that made all the difference for me. And then I was able to go to therapy and stuff like that because I realized that I wasn't like such a hopeless case. So it was a process, but I do always really hope that people will, because there are a lot of people who suffer with depression that come to the channel, and I just always am like, just try getting help, just try. I swear, I know it's hard, but like, I promise it actually might really make a difference.
You definitely got me. I think when you said the phrase, I'm not a hopeless case, that pulled on my heartstrings, because I know that feeling. When you have that feeling of knowing that, not all hope is lost, and not all, that, life is worth living. I mean,
totally.
I talked to you in the comment section about having to deal with a car accident, and it's one of those things where it helped me realize something, and that was how many people I affected during that whole deal. Because, I mean, you definitely know that you've affected people every day, uploading your videos and everything like that. And for me, it was hearing from people in basically the same way. I mean, I had a church in Colorado who I had no idea who a lot of these people were, but they were just saying, like, we're saying a prayer for you. We're hoping that you get so much better. It's like, I don't even know these people, and
that's amazing.
They're doing that, and you just hear even more people. They're coming in. They're saying, it's like, we hope you're doing better. And it's like, I didn't think we even had that kind of a friendship or anything like that. I mean, there's definitely some where it kind of faded out, but that does go with time. But then you do realize, the true people that stick with you definitely do make the difference with that.
Yeah. So
it's one of those things where, I am relieved that, you are hopefully, not at that full-fledged point that, you are hopeless case. You're definitely, you are
much better.
There, that is good, because you are definitely not. If I have to go every single video by saying, like, you are worth something, you're worth, like, so much more than gold itself, every single video you have popped up from here on out, I will do it, because as long as it puts a smile on your face and reminds you that you're worth so much, like I said, I want people to know that they are worth something. They are just, they're a part of life, and it's absolutely amazing to see how they affect every part of life.
Your comments always put a smile on my face. You don't have to just shower me with compliments. But thank you.
No, I'll shower you with compliments on one video and then role play in the other one.
Yes, there you go.
So we gotta switch it. Just gotta switch it up every now and then. So let's get into some of the nitty gritties when it comes to now the comment section, because, like I said before, you've mentioned that there are people that have been very supportive, and there's been people that have been not. I would not say that not supportive, but definitely need to realize that there's a line. You're about 5 feet ahead of it.
Yeah.
So, in your days of working as ASMR, have there been like super creepy people that have just tried to interact with you? Have there been situations where you kind of had to resort to blocking people on YouTube, or has it been kind of tamed, really?
I have had to block people, and I will say, I am one of the probably least block-happy creators. I have a lot of friends, and I think it's completely legitimate, but it's like as soon as somebody makes an asshole comment, they just block them immediately. And I won't do that unless somebody is attacking other commenters. That really bothers me. When people start just trying to make fun of other people for their comments, I think that's gross. It's one thing. I'm a creator. I'm putting my face up there. Fine. Like, say something mean, but just the nice people commenting on my video, leave them alone. And then when people have gotten violent, like weird sexually,
Oh, jeez.
I've had to block. And then, there have been a couple of people, unless it's all the same person. I had been open about the fact that my brother passed away 3 years ago, and they jumped on that. And there was somebody who came into my live stream once and started attacking me with weird information about my brother. Somebody who made their profile picture a picture of my brother. just that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, this is a different level. Like, I'm blocking you. That's scary. Or people trying to dox me. I've had that. So I block for those reasons. But people who are just like kind of annoying or slightly rude, I don't block.
So basically, you know, don't be a douche. Don't be disrespectful to the people that, you know, give you the support that you've been given. And also, yeah, no, don't. Gosh, I didn't even know that there are even people like that in this world. But then again, 2020 and 2021 have revealed the fact that there are many people that are kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's shocking. But yeah, I tolerate rude and disrespectful. But once it gets scary, that's when I start blocking.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, you mentioned the fact that you had people asking about your feet, and it's like, well, maybe that's something that, you know.
I don't block those people. Just like, okay, that's fine.
So that's okay. That's
there's,
nice.
you know, there's comments. You get a lot of comments that are like, when are you doing your OnlyFans? This is what I would like to see on your OnlyFans. Like, show more of this, do more of that, like blah blah blah, kind of sexual stuff. And I just ignore that. I don't block it. I'm just like, whatever. Okay, ignore. Like,
I could see you doing an OnlyFans, but there's the big but. I don't see you doing, like, you know, the whole deal like OnlyFans turns out to be, you know, where they have the sexual content or something like that. Because I've known people that have done OnlyFans, and they've done deals where it's just mainly them doing like cosplays or them just doing like, you know, videos or something like that. I could see you doing like
that's really strange.
Yeah, like
it's my buddy. Yeah, totally. I don't have a problem with OnlyFans. I also super don't have a problem with any creators putting whatever they want on OnlyFans. It's just not something I'm interested in. Sure. And when people comment like stuff about OnlyFans, it's a euphemism for show me your boobs. You know what I mean? So,
you know, I never really thought of it that way until you brought it up.
I think that there's like a lot of cool things that you could do on OnlyFans, especially because YouTube has very strange ideas about what is and is not appropriate. So, it's an option that I will think about certainly in the future if I ever have time to do extra content.
Well, a lot of your extra content is usually on your Sophie page, correct?
Yes. Ko-fi, coffee.
Oh, Ko-fi, there we go.
I don't know how to say it.
We'll say Ko-fi for the sake of argument.
I don't, I put out random things when I have a chance, so I don't have a membership platform like Patreon where people pay for content. I just have a tip jar, and then if you're a tipper, sometimes there's extra content when I can make it. But I'm super, super, super grateful for the people who support me that way. It's absolutely huge and helps me to keep the channel alive. So, yeah, I'm super grateful for Ko-fi.
Ko-fi.
It's probably supposed to be coffee, but I feel like if I say coffee, people will think I'm just saying COFFEE.
Yeah,
it's
because...
Like, no, it's not that kind of coffee. KOFI coffee.
That kind of coffee. Not the kind of coffee you have in the morning, but coffee that, you know, gives you a little extra oomph in your day.
And there's a site called Buy Me a Coffee, which is the same thing as Ko-fi. So I feel like it's confusing.
Oh, that is true. I didn't even think about that. Oh, man. This has been a lot of fun, getting the chance to actually talk with you, Sophia.
It's been so nice talking to you.
It's one of those things where, you know, when I first got the chance to reach out to you, I was thinking, well, there's only 50-50 chances where this is going to go. It's either going to go, she's the same nice person that I've talked to on YouTube as well as such, or this is going to be a situation where it's just going to be like she's going to just blow me off or something like that. But, you know, but it definitely.
No, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, you're always welcome to come back anytime. Maybe next time when we have you on the show, we can do a deal where we have like a, what is it like, what is it like? Man, I'm trying to remember what it was. It's like the it's like fan novels, stuff like that, where it's like, you know, reading off like on one of their like fan fan-made scripts, and maybe it's just like, I'm trying to remember what exactly.
That would be fun.
So, hey, maybe that's something we do for the next episode.
That's a good idea.
So,
I like it.
And I will definitely make sure that it's not something, 50 Shades related or something like
Yeah.
that. I could see it being more like Captain America and Natasha or something.
That'd be fun.
Or something along those lines. And plus, with it being under the podcasting format, it would be one of those things where it's like, hey, this could be the first podcast that I do that's a part of an ASMR. So,
yeah, totally. That's a great idea. That would be fun.
so we can definitely talk more about that. But unfortunately, we are now out of time for this. So,
Well, thank you so much for having me.
it is an absolute honor and privilege to have you on, Sophia. So this is the point in the show where I allow the guests, especially somebody as humble and as amazing as you are, to definitely, give your plugs as far as, social media, where they can reach you, any ways that they can, see extra content, or even some of the projects that you have coming up. So by all means, Sophia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Well, I am Love Sofia ASMR on YouTube. That's Sophia with an F. I'm also Love Sofia ASMR on Instagram. Come stop by. And my Coffee Ko-Fi page has extra content on it. The link is in my YouTube. And we have a Discord server for the channel where people just get together, chat. There's, mental health support. People just can chat about, we have a geek corner for nerdy chat, sharing animal pictures, just hanging out, being friends. I pop on there, try to pop on every now and then, every couple days, whenever I get the chance. I really like it. So if anybody wants to come hang out with us over on Discord, they are welcome. The link is in the description to my videos and on my channel banner.
And I will definitely make sure to put some of these descriptions as well as ways to connect with Sophia in the description of the podcast here. So definitely take a look at that. It's absolutely awesome. Check out our channel. It's great. You can check me out on social media at NateFNGreat on Instagram as well as on Twitter. Check us out on so many different podcasting formats. We also do have merchandise, which is on GameChangerPodcastMerch.com. And so many great things that are coming up right now. I can't talk about some of the things that are happening with YouTube Mania until it has been uploaded, but I know a lot of people are going to be very happy with how that went down. But before you go, Sophia, I do have one final question that I would like to ask you.
Okay.
So, when all is said and done, at the end of the day, when you are, calling it done with the ASMR and with everything else that you've done in your life, whether it's, ASMR, acting, everything like that, what is the one thing that you would like people to remember you for? I got you good.
I would hope that anyone I know would be able to remember a time when I was kind to them. I think that's the most important thing. Just that I was a shoulder to cry on for people. I think that's how I'd like to be remembered.
Okay. No, that's a really good answer. So I'm not going to do any sarcastic comments or anything like that. The heel character is for when you see me in person. So
Yeah.
So for Sophia from ASMR Love Sophia, I've been NateFNGreat. This has been the Game Changer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. And remember that you can make a difference one day at a time. But most importantly, you can make a difference one moment at a time. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.